operating lab class, system lab class. So now you can see this shortest job algorithm, which is one another primitive of an operating system, um, where if I'm going to have process one, if I'm going to have process two, etc. So for all those elements process, it is going to move to the shortest burst time. After moving it to the shortest burst time, then it goes which is the first shortest burst time, and it applies to that the first one, and second the second, and if it is 24 3 3, so that means process 1 is 24, process 2 is 3, and process 3 is also 3, then it checks the process 2. So in this way it goes up. So this is the algorithm what we are going to take up, shortest job first. So in shortest job first, we are going to have this uh, header file. After the header file, we have this void main, and then we are going to say we have this temporary variables, and WT, it is going to stands for waiting time, TTT stands for total time, total turnaround time, and total waiting time. So total turnaround time and total waiting time. So we are going to have process, and we are going to have another T for temporary process. So for that we are going to take two arrays, and arrays are going to be declared in integer type. Then we are going to have this average waiting time represented with a variable called as AWT. Then we are going to have average turnaround time called as AT80. So now assume that we have a process P1, we have process P2, and we have process P3, and the burst time is 24, and this one is 3, and this one is 5. If such is the case, then we are able to draw a Gantt chart. So when we are going to draw a Gantt chart, what happens is that shortest job first. So when we are going to show it is a shortest job first, so P2 will be the first, and followed by P3 will be the next, and P1 will be the last one. So if such is the case, so first we are going to take up P2, then we are going to take up P3, then we are going to take up P1. So all the processes are going to be non-preemptive. At this case, we are going to say P2 is going to first, and it goes up to 3 milliseconds. P3 it goes up to 3 plus 5, that is 8 milliseconds, and P1 8 plus 24, that is up to 22 milliseconds. If such is the case, now we are going to compute the waiting time. So how do I compute the waiting time? Process P0 is 0 minus 0. Process P1 is 8 minus 0, and process P2 is going to be 0 minus 0, and process P3 it is going to be process P3 it is going to be 3 minus 0. So then we are going to get it as a 8 plus 0 plus 3 divided by 3, that is 11 by 3 milliseconds. You will be getting it as waiting time. Now the same case, if I am going to use it for the turnaround time, if I am going to use it for turnaround time, total turnaround time, then I am going to say we will conclude the end elements. So when we are going to conclude the end elements, so first of all we will take up P1. So P1, so it has concluded at 32. Then we are going to take it as P2. So P2 it has origin at 0, but it completed at 3 seconds. Then we are going to include P3. P3 we arrive at 0, and P3 concluded at 8. At 8. So then we are going to assume it is 32 plus uh, 3 plus 8. So 43 divided by 3, then we are going to head these milliseconds. So that is all regarding the computational part. So now here you can see to enter the total number of processes. So n is equals to 3 as per our content. P1, P2, P3 we conclude 3. So let us say n is equals to 3. Then what we are going to take? We are going to enter the burst times. So here what I was mentioning is you milliseconds. You give this as milliseconds. So then it is going to be easy. So, and then we are going to take up this array with the first instance, so ti, etc. So we are going to take up these three elements. So how many times it is going to take? Until 3 times. So it is going to take until 3 times. So we are going to accept the contents as an inputs. So after this, um, after this, we are going to work with the actual logic here. So how do we move with this logic? So how do we move with this logic? So first of all, we are going to take the first element and then we are going to compare it with the next element. So we take the first element, then we are going to compare the next element. What is first element? First element is P1. What is second element? Second element is P2. So our algorithm agenda is shortest job first. So shortest job first. So here we are going to compare 24 is greater than 3, that is P2. So obviously we need to make a swap operation. We need to make a exchange operation, that is nothing but swap. So for that we are going to use this swap logic. So we are going to use the swap logic here. So why we are going to use the swap logic here? Because we have to estimate what is the shortest job first. We have to estimate what is the shortest job first. So to estimate the shortest job first, we are going to take the first process, that is P1. Next process we are going to take up P2, and we are going to make a compute operation between compare operation between them. So first one and second one. Then we are going to make a swap operation. So that is regarding this aspect. After this, swap operation, then we are going to mention this so printf shortest job first algorithm. Then we are going to give two tab positions, one to print the process id, another to print the burst time, and another to print the waiting time, and another to print out the turnaround time. So initially we are going to assume the waiting time as 0. So assume though that there is no garbage value, in the waiting time. So we are going to move to the first instance of the waiting time with 0. Now again we are going to initialize some value as also 0 to eliminate the garbage value. Then we are going to see waiting time is equals to sum plus t of k. So we are going to take up the first instance. So now we get, instead of P1, P2, P3, instead of this, we are going to move to the revised one. What is that revised one? We will be getting P2 followed by P3 followed by P1. So this is the new chain. This is the new Gantt chart. So this is the new Gantt chart. So when this is a new Gantt chart, so for that we are going to take this value here. So one second, the codeshare.io website, they are refreshing the code. So I just need 1-2 seconds time. So you can see that there is a bar, it is loading. So new chain is going to take up, and then what it is going to do it is going to have a sum value, and that sum value it is going to move it into the waiting time. So how we are going to compute that sum? That means we are going to take up the differences of the three values. We are going to take up the differences of the three values. So the three values we are assuming it as P1, P2, P3. So we compute them with the P1, P2, P3, and we subtract it from its arrival time. We subtract it from the arrival time, and thereby we are going to compute that process. So arrival time, it is going to assume it as 8 minus 0, 0 minus 0, and 3 minus 0, right? So 1 second, there is some problem with this code. So unexpected error has occurred. So we will work with this REPL directly. So first come first serve, sorry, shortest job first. So Control plus plus to maximize the screen. Yeah. So this is what we are discussing. Yeah. So we are going to compute this process waiting time, and so waiting time, we are going to compute it with this value, that is waiting time is equals to sum plus first instance. So our earlier discussion, we were making that it is P1 happened with P2 happened with P3. Now the revised discussion. So now the revised content. What was the revised content? It is P2 followed by P3 followed by P1. So this is the new form. So for that, it is going to take up the values, that is P2 first, then it computes the initial time to its total burst time, then it is going to compute the P3, that is up to 3 minus 0, and then it is going to compute the next value. So in this way, every instance is going to be added up and total sum is going to be computed. And similarly, we are going to compute this total turnaround time. We are going to compute this total turnaround time. So for that, we are going to take this TT variables also. So after this, we have to finally estimate. We have to finally estimate the values of both this, both the waiting time and both the turnaround time. We have to estimate it. So at this instance, you can see total waiting time. Total waiting time is 0 minus 0, 3 minus 0, 24 minus 0. So in this way, you are going to get this. So all that it is pulled up here. And similarly, we are going to get the total turnaround time. So it is considering the end time, that is 0 minus 3, maybe 0 minus 8, 24 minus 8. So in this way, it is going to get these values. And then you can see we need to compute it by the total number of process. Total number of process, we already initiated n is equals to 3. For that, we are going to say average waiting time, that is 0 plus 3 plus 24 divided by 3. So we are going to get this average value. Then we are going to convert it into typecasting. For that, we are going to move from this integer value to the float value, and thereby we are going to display it average waiting time and total turnaround time. So this is all regarding the shortest job first. So to compute this process, now we can have a run operation over this. We can make a run operation over this. So we are going to make a run operation. So clicking on the run button here, I'm using this repl.it. So enter the total number of processes. So total number of processes are 3. Enter the burst time of process 0. So 24. And enter the burst time of process 1, 3. Then enter the total burst time of process 2. So assume I'm going to give it as 5 here. So we can see this process 1 and process 2 and process 3. Then it is navigated with its burst time. Then it is navigated with its waiting time. And then it is navigated with its total turnaround time. So there you can see the average values. So average value, you can assume that waiting time is 10 here. Average turnaround time is 20.67. So that is how this algorithm is going to execute. So the first law, the logic here was